Hello students, welcome back to the channel. In today's lecture, we are starting a very important topic in endocrinology, that is hormones. Let's understand what hormones are and why they are so important for our body. So, what are hormones? Hormones are the chemical messengers produced and secreted by the endocrine glands. Now, what are endocrine glands? Endocrine glands are the ductless gland. Exocrine glands are having ducts, but endocrine glands are not having ducts. इसमें कोई गुहा नहीं पाई जाती है. They release hormones directly into the bloodstream to regulate various body functions, or which carries them to specific target organs or cells. Once they reach their target, hormones regulate and coordinate various body functions. Hormones controls almost every important activity in our body, including growth, development, metabolism, reproduction, our moods, maintenance of homeostasis, which maintains a stable environment. That's why hormones are often called the chemical messenger of the body. They enable communication between different organs. Now let's understand the important characteristic of hormones. First characteristics, they are secreted in small amount. Hormones are produced in very small and specific quantities by endocrine glands. Even a tiny amount of a hormone can produce a significant physiological responses. This is because hormones are highly potent and act only on cells that possesses the appropriate receptors. Second characteristics, they are transported through the blood. Hormones are released directly into the bloodstream. Blood acts as a transport medium carrying hormones from the endocrine glands to their target organs or target cells, which may be located far away from the site of hormone secretions. So they are transported through the bloods. Third characteristics, they act on specific target organs. Hormones do not affect every cells in the body. They act only on a specific target cell that contain receptors for that particular hormone. You can think of it like a lock and key mechanism. Only the correct hormone can bind to a specific receptor and produce a biological effect. Last is their slow but long lasting effect. Compared with nerve impulses, hormone action is generally slower because hormones must travel through the bloodstream before reaching their target. However, once they act, their effects are long lasting, ranging from several minutes to hours, days, or even longer depending on the hormone and its functions. The key points about the characteristics and the important characteristics are: hormones are secreted in very small amounts, they are transported through the blood streams, they act only on specific target cells with receptors, their action is slow but produces long lasting effects. We are making the mechanism of hormone action easy to understand. Hormones are the body's chemical messenger carrying signals from one part of the body to another. Don't worry, it's simple. We will learn the whole process in just 4 easy steps. You will be ready for your next exam. Step 1 is the hormone is released. Hormones are basically your body chemical messengers. They are produced by endocrine glands like your thyroid or your pancreas. Once they are ready, they get dumped straight into the highway of your body. This is the blood stream. Second step, is the journey or the travel. Once the hormone is in the blood, it travels throughout the entire body to look for the target cell. Means they are searching for their target cells. Stage 3 is the target receptor. When the hormone finally finds a target cells, it binds to a specific receptors. These receptors can be sitting on the cell membrane or tucked away inside the cell. Think of hormones and receptor like a lock and key. The hormone is the key and it fits perfectly into the receptor lock to trigger a change. Final step is the cellular response. Once the key turns the lock, it activates the major changes inside the cells. These lead to a specific response depending on what the body needs. We are talking about regulating vital functions like your metabolism, growth, and various other cellular processes. The points to remember in this is the whole chain reaction, hormone, blood, target receptor, cellular response. Hormone regulates your body by acting like key, unlocking specific responses. Here, the hormone is released in the blood. In blood, they travel in search of their target cells. They find the receptor, bind to them, and perform the function. Hormones are classified according to their chemical nature into three major groups: peptide or protein hormones, steroid hormones, and amine hormones. Let's discuss one by one. First is peptide or protein hormones. These hormones are made up of chain of amino acids just like proteins. They are water soluble, so they dissolve easily in blood plasma and transported freely in the blood stream. Since they cannot pass through the cell membrane, they bind to receptor present on the cell surface and produce a rapid response through second messenger system. Some example includes insulin, which regulates blood glucose level, growth hormone, which promotes body growth, and antidiuretic hormone ADH, which helps regulate water balance in the body. Second class is steroid hormone. The hormones are synthesized from cholesterol and are fat soluble or lipid soluble. Because of this property, they can easily pass through the cell membrane. As we know, the cell membrane are made up of phospholipids, so they can easily pass through that and bind to intracellular receptors located in the cytoplasm or nucleus. Steroid hormones usually have slower onset of action, but their effects are long lasting because they regulate gene expression and protein synthesis. Example includes cortisol, which helps the body respond to stress, estrogen, which regulates female reproductive function, testosterone, the primary male sex hormone. Coming to third classification, that is amine hormones. These hormones are derived from single amino acids, mainly tyrosine or tryptophan. Their properties vary depending on their structure. For example, adrenaline secreted by the adrenal medulla, which is water soluble, and acts very rapidly during emergency situation, producing the well-known fight or flight response. जो बहुत जल्दी हमारे में response आता है, that is due to the adrenaline. Aggressive response is due to these hormones. On the other hand, thyroxine produced by the thyroid gland is fat soluble, enters target cells and plays a vital role in regulating metabolism, growth and development. To remember in this are that it is hormones are divided into three major classes: peptide hormone made of amino acids, water soluble and fast acting; steroid hormones derived from cholesterol, fat soluble and slow but long lasting in actions. Third is amine hormones, derived from amino acid and may be water soluble or fat soluble depending on the hormones. And mechanism for hormones action. It turns out hormones have two completely different ways of knocking on a cell's door depending on what they are made of. Let's break down into two main types: membrane receptor and intracellular receptors. First, we will see the mechanism of one membrane receptors, also known as the knock on the door approach. First, we have membrane receptor. This path is used by peptide hormones which are water soluble. Because they are water soluble, they cannot pass through the fatty cell membrane. So, what to do? They bind to a receptor sitting right on the outside of the cell membrane. This binding trigger a secondary messenger inside the cells. The secondary messenger activates the protein kinases sitting of a chain reaction. The result is this altered the cell activities like activating enzymes and altering cell function. Because it relies on a fast acting chain reaction, it creates a rapid response. Mechanism 2 is the intracellular receptors. This is the VIP backstage pass, we can say. This is go for the steroid hormones which are lipid soluble. Because they are made up of lipids, they have a VIP backstage pass. The hormone diffuses straight through the cell membrane, no knocking required. Once inside, the hormone binds to the receptor located in the cytoplasm or right inside the nucleus. This hormone receptor complex then bind directly to the DNA in the nucleus. By interacting directly with DNA, it activates or suppresses a specific gene, stimulate or inhibit protein synthesis because it takes time to make or stop making protein. This results in a slower, more long-term response. Remember this, the key takeaway points: water soluble are the peptide hormones binds outside, triggers the secondary messenger, and it gives the rapid response. Second, intracellular receptor in which the steroid lipid soluble hormones diffuse inside, binds to DNA, and it is a slower response. Feedback mechanism are the body's control system. They help maintain homeostasis, which just means a stable internal environment, mainly by regulating our hormone levels. There are two main types: negative feedback and positive feedback. We will see one by one. First is the negative feedback. Here you can see it is the stimulus, hormones released, goes to the target organ, then is stimulus. Think of this like a home thermostat. It is the process that counteracts a change, bringing conditions right back to the safe set point. When a stimulus detects a change, hormone is released, acting on a target organ to push the level back down or up to normal. Key takeaway: this is the most common type of feedback in your body. Its main job is to maintain a stable internal environment. Example: the regulation of blood sugar level. When sugar spikes, insulin brings it right back down. Second is the positive feedbacks. Here it is showing uterus, fetus, stimulus, pituitary gland. It is the exact opposite to the negative feedback. Instead of stopping a change, it amplifies or reinforces it, pushing condition further away from the normal set point until a specific event is completed. Major key takeaway: this is less common in the body. It actively amplifies the stimulus rather than stopping it. Example: labor contraction during childbirth. As the baby presses forward, the stimulus signals the pituitary gland to release more hormone, making contraction even stronger until delivery. So, to recap, negative feedback stops the change and for positive feedback speeds it up. If you found this quick breakdown helpful, hit like button and subscribe for more easy biology classes. Now let's discuss the major endocrine glands and hormones they produce. The endocrine system consists of ductless gland and secrete hormones directly into the blood stream. These hormones regulate metabolism, reproduction, stress, and many other vital body functions. First is the pituitary gland. Pituitary gland, often called the master gland because it controls the activity of many other endocrine glands. Anterior pituitary secretes several important hormones including growth hormone, which stimulates body growth, thyroid stimulating hormone, which regulates the activity of the thyroid gland. Other hormones secreted by the anterior pituitary include ACTH, follicle stimulating hormones, LH, and prolactin. These hormones are peptide hormones, so they are water soluble and generally produce rapid physiological responses. Second is the thyroid gland located in the front of the neck. It secretes thyroxine, T4, and triiodothyronine, T3, which regulates the body metabolism, growth, and development. The thyroid gland also produces calcitonin, which helps lower blood calcium level. When the thyroid gland produces too little hormone, it leads to hypothyroidism, causing fatigue, weight gain, and reduced metabolism. Excess hormone production causes hypothyroidism, leading to weight loss, rapid heartbeat, and increased metabolism. Enlargement of the thyroid gland result in goiter, जो कि खींगा रोग होता है आयोडीन की कमी से और इसकी वजह से होता है, often associated with iodine deficiency. Third is the parathyroid gland located just behind the thyroid gland. These glands secrete parathyroid hormone which regulate calcium and phosphorus levels in the body by increasing blood calcium concentration. Deficiency of parathyroid hormone causes hypocalcemia, which may lead to tetany, a condition characterized by painful muscle spasms and cramps. The adrenal glands are situated on top of each kidneys. The adrenal cortex secrete cortisol, which helps the body respond to stress. Aldosterone, which regulates sodium, potassium, and water balance, and a small amount of androgens, which contribute to the development of secondary sexual characteristics. Disorder of the adrenal cortex include Addison's disease caused by insufficient hormone production and Cushing's syndrome caused by excessive cortisol secretion. Next, fifth is pancreas, islets of Langerhans. The endocrine portion of the pancreas, known as the islet of Langerhans, secrete insulin and glucagon. Insulin lowers blood glucose level, whereas glucagon increases blood glucose level. Together, this hormone maintains normal blood sugar balance. A deficiency of insulin or resistance to its action result in diabetes mellitus. आज 90% लोग इंडिया में इस बीमारी से ग्रस्त हैं, डायबिटीज. Last is ovaries and testes. They are the gonads. The ovary produces estrogen and progesterone in females. So they regulate the reproductive function of females, the menstruation cycle, pregnancy, and development of female secondary sexual characteristics. The testes produces testosterone in men, which are responsible for male secondary sexual characteristics and in sperm production. To remember this major endocrine glands, First is pituitary gland, controls other endocrine glands. Thyroid gland regulate metabolism and growth. Parathyroid glands regulate calcium and phosphorus balance. Adrenal gland help the body respond to stress and maintain electrolyte balance. Pancreas regulate blood glucose level. Ovaries and testes control reproduction and sexual development. One, we have seen the definition of endocrine gland, their characteristics and functions. Here, these are the different types of endocrine glands. We will see it in detail one by one. Let's start with the pituitary gland. Pituitary gland is also known as master gland of the endocrine system. It is a small pea-sized endocrine gland located at the base of the brain, just below the hypothalamus. The pituitary gland, although it is very small inside, it controls the activity of many other endocrine glands by secreting different hormones. Therefore, it is known as master gland. It is connected to the hypothalamus, which regulates its hormonal secretion through releasing and inhibiting hormones. Together, the hypothalamus and pituitary form the hypothalamo-pituitary axis, an important control center of the endocrine system. Parts of the pituitary gland, it is divided into anterior pituitary and the posterior pituitary, means it is divided into two main parts. Anterior pituitary is also known as adenohypophysis. It is a granular portion and synthesis as well as secrete hormones. Most of its hormones are peptide hormones, which are water soluble and generally fast acting. Second is the posterior pituitary, also known as neurohypophysis. Unlike the anterior lobe, it does not synthesize hormones. Instead, it stores and releases ADH, antidiuretic hormone, and oxytocin, which are produced in the hypothalamus. Hormones secreted by the pituitary glands. Anterior pituitary secretes the growth hormone that stimulates the growth of bones, muscles, and other body tissues. Thyroid stimulating hormones that stimulates the thyroid gland to produce thyroid hormones. ACTH, that is adrenocorticotropic hormone, stimulates the adrenal cortex to secrete corticosteroid hormone, especially cortisol. Follicle stimulating hormone and luteinizing hormone regulate the reproductive organ in females. In females, they control ovulation, estrogen production, while in males, they stimulate sperm production and testosterone secretion. Prolactin stimulates the production of milk in the mammary glands after childbirth. The second part is the posterior pituitary. It releases two important hormones, ADH, antidiuretic hormone, also known as vasopressin. It acts on the kidney to increase water absorption, helping maintain water balance and blood pressure. The second is oxytocin, which stimulates uterine contraction during childbirth and causes milk ejection during breastfeeding. ऑक्सीटोसिन हार्मोन से ही चाइल्ड का बर्थ होता है, जिससे कि पेल्विक फैल जाता है एंड मिल्क का भी प्रोडक्शन इसी से होता है. क्लिनिकल इंपॉर्टेंस. The disorder of the pituitary gland can affect the secretion of many hormones and lead to various diseases. For example, excess growth hormone during childhood causes कैग्नेटिज्म, while deficiency result in pituitary dwarfism. अगर ग्रोथ हार्मोन ज्यादा होगा तो उसकी हाइट बहुत जल्दी बड़ी हो जाएगी और वो बड़ा दिखेगा, और कम हो जाएगा तो बौने हो जाएंगे. In adults, excess growth hormones causes acromegaly. Deficiency of ADH hormone can lead to diabetes insipidus, characterized by excessive urination and thirst. To remember about the pituitary gland, it is the master gland because it controls many other endocrine glands. It has two parts: the anterior pituitary, which synthesize and secrete hormones, and the posterior pituitary, which stores and releases hormones produced by the hypothalamus. Its hormone regulate growth, metabolism, reproduction, stress response, water balance, childbirth, and lactation. Second is thyroid gland. Did you know that a tiny butterfly-shaped gland in your neck controls your body energy? Let's learn about the thyroid gland in just 2 minutes. The thyroid gland is a butterfly-shaped endocrine gland located in front of the neck, just below the larynx and in front of the trachea. It mainly secretes two important hormones, T3, that is triiodothyronine, and T4, that is thyroxine. These two hormones increases the body's metabolism, help produce energy, support normal growth and development, and maintain the body temperature. The thyroid also produces calcitonin, a hormone that helps regulate the level of calcium in the blood and support healthy bones. कैल्शियम का लेवल ये रेगुलेट करते हैं जिससे कि हमारी हड्डियां मजबूत रहे. So the major function of the thyroid gland are regulating metabolism, promoting growth and development, maintaining body temperature, and helping control calcium balance. Now let's look at two common thyroid disorders which are very important. First is hypothyroidism, जो घेंगा रोग हो जाता है, गला ऐसे बड़ा हो जाता है. The thyroid produces too little hormones. This can cause anxiety, rapid heartbeat. Too little hormones. Common symptoms include fatigue, weight gain, and depression. In hyperthyroidism, the thyroid produces too much hormone. ज़्यादा होने की वजह से होता है. This can cause anxiety, rapid heartbeat, and weight loss. In short, although the thyroid gland is small, it plays a vital role in keeping our body healthy and functioning properly. If you find this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more easy biology lessons. Did you know that these tiny glands hidden behind your thyroid, control the calcium level in your body? Let's understand the parathyroid gland in just 2 minutes. The parathyroid glands are 4 small pea-sized endocrine glands located on the back of the thyroid gland in the neck. Although they are very small, they play a crucial role in maintaining calcium balance. These glands secrete parathyroid hormones, also known as PTH. It regulates the level of calcium and phosphorus in the blood. It increases calcium absorption in the kidneys and intestines and helps maintain strong bones, healthy muscles, and proper nerve functions. Some disorders. When the parathyroid gland produces too little PTH, the condition is known as hypoparathyroidism. This lowers blood calcium level and may lead to tetany, a condition characterized by muscle cramps, tingling, numbness, and muscle twitching. When the glands produce too much PTH, it's called hyperparathyroidism. This increases blood calcium level and may cause kidney stones, bone pain, muscle weakness, and fatigue. Remember, calcium is not only essential for strong bones but also for normal muscle contractions and nerve functions. That's why healthy parathyroid glands are vital for overall body functions. Have you ever wondered how your body reacts so quickly during fear, excitement, or stress? The answer lies in the adrenal gland. It is two smaller triangular shaped endocrine gland located on top of each kidneys. Each, even though they are small, they produce hormones that help regulate metabolism, blood pressure, or the immune system and the body's response to stress. Each adrenal gland has two parts, the outer and the inner. Outer part is known as adrenal cortex and it produces steroid hormone, especially cortisol. It is also known as stress hormone because it helps the body respond to stress. It also regulates metabolism and support the immune system. The inner part is called the adrenal medulla. It secretes the hormones adrenaline and noradrenaline, also called catecholamines. These hormones prepare the body for the fight or flight response by increasing the heartbeat, raising blood pressure, and providing extra energy during emergency. In simple language, we can say अगर आपको गुस्सा आ रहा है तो because of this hormone, अगर आपको प्यार आ रहा है तो because of this adrenaline and noradrenaline hormones. If the adrenaline hormones do not function properly, a person may experience chronic fatigue, abnormal blood pressure, weakness, or stress related disorders. So remember, the adrenal glands are your body emergency response system. They help you stay alert, manage stress, and keep many body functions working smoothly. Did you know that pancreas is the only gland in our body that works as both a digestive gland and an endocrine gland? Let's understand the pancreas. It is a elongated leaf-shaped gland located behind the stomach. It performs two important functions. It produces digestive enzyme to help digest food and also secrete hormones that regulate blood sugar levels. The endocrine part of the pancreas is called the islets of Langerhans. These are clusters of specialized cells that produce hormones to maintain normal blood glucose level. There are two major hormones secreted by the islets of Langerhans. The first is insulin, which is produced by beta cells. Insulin lowers blood sugar level by helping glucose enter the body cells. It also promotes the storage of excess glucose as glycogen in the liver and muscles. The second hormone is glucagon, which is produced by the alpha cells. Glucagon raises body sugar level by breaking down glycogen stored in the liver into glucose. It also helps break down stored fats to produce energy when needed. Remember it with a simple trick. Insulin, iron. So glucose goes into the cells, glucose gone from the liver into the blood. If the pancreas does not function properly, it can lead to disorders such as diabetes mellitus caused by insufficient insulin or hypoglycemia, where blood sugar levels becomes too low. So the pancreas play a vital role in digestion and maintaining a healthy blood sugar balance. Did you know that the testes have two very important jobs? They produce sperm and also secrete the male hormone testosterone. The testes are a pair of male reproductive glands located inside the scrotum, a pouch of skin outside the abdominal cavity. They are kept outside the body because sperm production requires a temperature that is slightly lower than normal body temperature. The testes perform two main functions. First, they produce sperm through a process called spermatogenesis. Second, they secrete the male sex hormone testosterone, which is responsible for the development of male reproductive organs and secondary sexual characteristics such as a deeper voice, beard growth, and increased muscle mass. Looking at the structure of the testes, the outer covering is the tunica albuginea, which protects the testes. Inside are many seminiferous tubules, जो छोटे छोटे दिख रहे हैं, they are seminiferous tubules where sperms are produced. Within these tubules are Sertoli cells, also called nerve cells. They nourish, protect, and support the developing sperm cells. Between the seminiferous tubules are these Leydig cells, which produce the hormone testosterone. The testes also secrete another hormone called inhibin, which help regulate sperm production by controlling the release of certain hormones from the pituitary. So remember, seminiferous tubules make sperm, Sertoli cells support sperm, Leydig cells make testosterone, and inhibin regulates sperm production. The testes are essential for male reproduction, hormone reproduction, and the development of male characteristics. Did you know that ovaries not only produce eggs but also secrete hormones that regulate the menstruation cycle and supports pregnancy? The ovaries are a pair of female reproductive glands located in the pelvic cavity, one of each side of the uterus. They are held in place by strong ligaments. The ovary perform two main functions. They produce ova through the process oogenesis, and second, they secrete the female sex hormone estrogen and progesterone. Looking at the structure, the outer surface of ovary is covered by the germinal epithelium. Inside the ovary are many ovarian follicles where developing egg cells grow and mature. After ovulation, the ruptured follicle changes into corpus luteum, which secrete progesterone. This hormone prepares the uterus for pregnancy and help maintain it during the early stages. The inner region of the ovary is called a medulla. It contains blood vessels, nerves, and connective tissues which supply nutrients and supports the ovary. The ovary produces two important hormones, estrogen and progesterone. Estrogens regulate the menstruation cycle, promotes the development of female secondary sexual characteristics, and support the growth of the reproductive organs. Progesterone prepare the uterus for implementation of the fertilized egg and play an essential role in maintaining pregnancy. Here an easy way to remember, estrogen develops female characteristics while progesterone prepare and protect pregnancy. The ovaries are essential for reproduction, hormonal balance, and maintaining women's reproductive health. Have you ever wondered why you feel sleepy at night and awake during the day? The answer lies in a tiny gland deep inside your brain, the pineal gland. It is a small gland, bone-shaped endocrine gland located deep inside the brain between two cerebral hemispheres. Its main function is to regulate the body's sleep-wake cycle, also known as circadian rhythm. It also influences reproduction and several other important body processes. The pineal gland secretes a hormone called melatonin, which controls our sleep pattern and helps the body know when it's time to sleep and when it's time to wake up. Melatonin production is closely linked to light and darkness. During the day, exposure to light reduces melatonin production, helping us stay awake and alert. At night, darkness increases melatonin release, making us feel sleepy and preparing the body for restful sleep. The release of melatonin is controlled by suprachiasmatic nucleus (SCN) in the hypothalamus. This region acts the body's internal biological clock. Here an easy way to remember. Light means less melatonin and more alertness. Darkness means more melatonin and better sleep. So, although the pineal gland is very small, it plays a vital role in maintaining healthy sleep patterns and body natural daily rhythm. What happens when our endocrine gland produce too much or too little hormone? This condition is called hormonal disorder. Hormonal disorder occur when an endocrine gland secretes either too much or too little hormone, disturbing the normal functioning of the body. Let's look at some common hormonal disorder. First is diabetes mellitus. It occurs when the body doesn't produce enough insulin or cannot use insulin properly. As a result, blood sugar level becomes abnormally high. Next is hypothyroidism. In this condition, the thyroid gland produces too little thyroid hormone, leading to fatigue, weight gain, and slow metabolism. The opposite condition is hyperthyroidism. Here, the thyroid gland produces excess thyroid hormone, causing weight loss, rapid heartbeat, and anxiety, and increased metabolism. Next is Cushing syndrome. Occurs when the adrenal gland produces too much cortisol, resulting in weight gain, high blood pressure, and muscle weakness. Next is Addison disease. Is caused by insufficient production of cortisol from the adrenal glands. Common symptoms include weight loss, low blood pressure, and weakness. Next is POX, polycystic ovary syndrome. Is a hormonal disorder affecting the ovaries. It can cause irregular menstruation cycle, acne, excessive hair growth, and difficulty in pregnancy. Growth hormone disorders occurs when the pituitary gland produces either too much or too little growth hormone, leading to conditions such as gigantism, acromegaly, or dwarfism. Hyperparathyroidism occurs when the parathyroid gland produces excess parathyroid hormone, increasing blood calcium level and causing kidney stones, bone pain, and muscle weakness. Finally, hypopituitarism is a condition in which the pituitary gland produces insufficient amount of one or more hormones, affecting growth, reproduction, metabolism, and several other body functions. Remember, too little hormone causes hormone deficiency disorder, while too much hormone causes hormone excess disorder. Both conditions require proper diagnosis and treatment. We have learned about the hormones. Now let's check some MCQs. Question 1. Hormones are secreted directly into what? Lymph ducts or blood? The correct answer is blood. Unlike the exocrine glands, endocrine hormones travel directly through the bloodstream without using any ducts to act as a chemical messengers. Second, master gland of endocrine system is thyroid, adrenal, pituitary, or pineal. The answer is pituitary. It takes the crown because it controls almost all other endocrine glands and regulates critical body functions. Question number 3. Hormones responsible for milk ejection. Oxytocin is the hormone responsible for milk ejection, while prolactin stimulates the milk production. Insulin is secreted by beta cells of the pancreatic islets. Hormones that increases blood glucose level. Glucagon mobilizes glycogen stores to raise blood sugar level. Or while insulin lowers blood sugar, glucagon works as its opposite to raises it when you need energy. The thyroid hormone secretes T3 and T4, triiodothyronine and thyroxine, which regulate metabolism, energy, and growth. Master gland of endocrine system is pituitary gland. Here it is asking about the hormones involved in regulating calcium levels. That is parathyroid hormone. It must be corrected. This question. 7th question. Question number 8. Fight or flight hormone adrenaline or epinephrine is released by the adrenaline glands in response to stress, increasing heartbeat and energy for fight or flight response. Question 9. Hormone responsible for sleep wake cycle. Melatonin, produced by the pineal gland, regulates the body circadian rhythm and sleep wake cycle. Estrogen is secreted by ovaries. The estrogen is the primary female sex hormone secreted by ovaries. Now you know exactly how our hormones work. What are their mechanism? If this cleared up your biochem confusion about the hormones, hit the like button, subscribe for more quick revision guides, and drop a comment below on what topic we should tackle next. Thank you for watching. See you in the next class.